Welcome! Today we're going to explore some truly groundbreaking research from Microsoft AI that points us toward what we might call medical superintelligence. We'll be looking at how a new generation of AI can investigate and solve some of the most complex diagnostic cases in medicine. The kind of cases that, often stump even the most expert physicians.
And it all really starts with this one foundational question. It's a question that really pushes the boundaries of what we even thought was possible at the intersection of artificial intelligence and clinical medicine.
Now, to appreciate why this work is so urgent, just consider this number: 50 million. Across Microsoft's consumer AI products, there are over 50 million health-related sessions every single day. This just goes to show that digital tools are already the new frontline in healthcare, and that makes the need for trustworthy, high-performing AI more critical than it's ever been.
So to really understand the significance of this research, we first have to establish the context, the grand challenge that modern healthcare is facing. You see, the system is under an immense amount of strain, and the whole diagnostic process is really right at the heart of it.
The system we have now is burdened by costs that are just unsustainable. U.S. health spending is approaching a staggering 20% of the entire GDP. And to compound that, it's estimated that up to a quarter of all that spending is wasted. It has little to no real impact on patient outcomes. But the human cost? Well, that's even greater, with these persistent barriers leading to inaccurate and delayed diagnosis for literally billions of people around the world.
Okay, so if AI is going to be a meaningful part of the solution here, we absolutely have to be able to trust its performance. And this means we've got to move beyond the traditional ways of evaluating AI and start testing its capacity for genuine clinical reasoning.
Some of the early AI systems showed really impressive results on standardized tests, like the United States medical licensing exam, the USMLE. But the thing is, these benchmarks are fundamentally flawed. They mostly rely on multiple choice questions, which really favors memorization, not the deep iterative reasoning that defines what doctors actually do in the real world. So this really overstated AI's competence, and it masks some critical limitations.
And this right here highlights that critical gap between the old benchmarks and what happens in clinical reality. Real-world medicine is this dynamic, sequential process, right? A clinician is iteratively asking questions, ordering tests, all to narrow down the possibilities. That's a world away from a static, one-shot answer on a multiple-choice test.
So, to address this critical gap, this research introduced two key innovations. First, a much more realistic benchmark to test the AI, and second, a far more sophisticated AI system that was designed specifically to excel at it.
The new benchmark is called the Sequential Diagnosis Benchmark, or SDBench, and you can really think of it as a flight simulator for AI doctors. It takes 304 of the most diagnostically challenging cases ever published and turns them into these interactive encounters. It forces the AI to solve a case step by step exactly like a real physician would have to.
And the new AI system is the Microsoft AI Diagnostic Orchestrator, or MAI-DxO. It's designed to emulate a virtual panel of physicians. So instead of just one AI mind trying to solve the problem, it orchestrates this collaborative debate between different AI personas to arrive at the best possible diagnosis. This virtual panel is made up of 5 distinct roles, all played by a single language model. You've got Dr. Hypothesis tracking potential conditions, Dr. Test Chooser selecting the best tests, and Dr. Challenger acting as a devil's advocate to prevent any kind of cognitive bias. And then finally, Dr. Stewardship and Dr. Checklist are there to ensure efficiency and quality control. Together, they create this structured chain of debate that constantly refines the system's reasoning.
So, the big question is, how did this novel system perform on this demanding new benchmark? Especially when you compare it against the ultimate standard, experienced human physicians. Well, on the same set of complex diagnostic challenges from SDBench, a group of 21 practicing physicians from the US and the UK, each with years of clinical experience, they achieved an average accuracy of 20%, and that really just underscores how incredibly difficult these cases actually are.
Now, in a direct comparison on that exact same benchmark, MAI-DxO achieved a correct diagnosis in 85.5% of the cases. That is a rate more than 4 times higher than the experienced physicians. The results are, to put it simply, extraordinary. But critically, this performance wasn't just about superior accuracy. MAI-DxO also showed remarkable efficiency. It established what's called a new Pareto frontier, which basically means achieving better outcomes for less cost.
This table really visualizes that core finding. So you can see the physicians at 20% accuracy for nearly $3,000 per case. The best standalone AI model got up to 78.6% accuracy, But look at that cost. Very high. Now look at MAI-DxO. It could achieve a higher accuracy of almost 80% for less cost than the physicians. And even when it was pushed to its maximum accuracy setting of 85.5%, it was still more cost-effective than the next best AI. It just completely dominates the cost accuracy curve.
With these results in mind, let's turn to the future implications. Because this research isn't about replacing clinicians, it's about creating powerful new tools to augment their expertise. And the researchers, many of whom are practicing clinicians themselves, are very explicit on this point. AI is a complement to doctors. All of those nuanced, human-centric aspects of care, navigating ambiguity, building trust, showing empathy, those are roles that humans will and should continue to own.
The key insight here is that AI doesn't face the same trade-offs that we humans do. It can blend the broad knowledge of a generalist with the deep expertise of multiple specialists, all at the same time. This has the potential to completely reshape healthcare by empowering patients, equipping clinicians with unbelievable decision support, and creating a more efficient and effective system for all of us.
Of course, it is absolutely vital to acknowledge the limitations of this research. MAI-DxO was tested on the most complex cases, not your common everyday conditions. The physicians in the study also worked without their usual resources, like colleagues or search engines, to make sure it was a fair comparison of raw reasoning ability. And the cost estimates, while consistent, are still approximations. So this is a critical first step, but one that's going to require a lot more validation in real clinical environments. This research truly opens the door to a future where AI can serve as a powerful cognitive partner in medicine. And it leaves us with a really compelling question to consider. What does the future of healthcare look like when every single patient and every single doctor has access to a medical superintelligence as their second opinion?